Hello, my name's Rachel and I work for Step 2 Young People's Health. This video is about stereotypes. Before we start, there is a content warning for this video. Some of the stereotypes that I have included in the video could be seen as extremely offensive to some people. I've included them not because they are my beliefs or those of Step 2 or any other organisation that we work with or support. I've included them as a teaching aid so that you understand why they are dangerous and why they are divisive. Similarly, there are some pictures which may be offensive to some people. Again, they are not our views. I have simply included them for use as a teaching aid, and they are all images that I have pulled from Google. Okay, so a stereotype is an oversimplified or generalised belief about a group of people. So it might be that you have an idea about somebody and you apply it to a whole group of people that share some characteristics. So that might be based on race, gender, faith, religion, social status, culture, or pretty much anything else. It could be to do with their appearance. So this is where there's some bits that could be offensive to people. So I'll bring one thing up at a time and discuss them individually. Blondes are stupid. Long sort of history, this one, that all blondes are thick. And it's offensive and it's untrue and it's really not fair to blonde people. Private school students are more intelligent than state school students. That's not true. I know some incredibly intelligent state school students. Private school students are in a better position because they're richer, so therefore their parents can afford to send them to private school, and it may be that they do get an exceptionally high quality of education, but that's because their parents are paying for it. Okay, there is nothing wrong with a state school education. You can still go on to achieve amazing things. The traveller community are all criminals and slobs. This one comes up a lot. You see this one on social media and it goes unchallenged. You see it on TV programmes, on the news and things like that, where a traveller community have arrived somewhere. They may be on parkland or on grassland or something. They've packed up all caravans and all cars and things, and people believe that they are all criminals. They all go around stealing, they all create loads of rubbish and cause loads of mayhem. That's not true of all travellers. There are some travellers who are extremely respectful of other people's properties, who keep really clean homes, who are very respectful, very lovely people. It's just that they live in a house that moves. They just have some differences to the rest of us. Okay, so it's unfair to overgeneralise and say that they are all something. Poor people can't go to university. Again, this comes back to the private school, state school argument. Poor people can go to university. They can get grants, they can get loans. It depends on the kind of course that they're doing. They absolutely can go to university. You frequently hear about Oxford and Cambridge and other top universities like that, that they are not in the firing line, but that people are raising the fact that not a lot of students from poorer backgrounds go to their university. And some of that is down to the fact that parents who can afford to send their children to private schools can also afford tutoring, which means that those children may get higher grades and may therefore find it easier to get into the university. It's got nothing to do with the fact that you're poor, therefore you're stupid, therefore you can't go to university. Italian people are well dressed. Now this one seems fairly positive. You're saying that Italian people look good, and some of them do. There are lots of famous designers from Italy. The Italian Olympic squads, when they come out at the Olympic game opening ceremonies and things, they usually have tracksuits that have been designed by people like Armani. Fabulous, okay, brilliant. But again, that's a generalisation, because there might be some Italian people who aren't as well dressed as the others. Okay, you can't say that everybody is the same. Women can't drive. I've been told this numerous times. Women absolutely can drive, otherwise they wouldn't be passing driving tests and getting driving licences. There are some men out there who are very, very poor drivers. There are some women out there who are very, very poor drivers. All Muslims are terrorists. This one became particularly prevalent in America and other parts of the world after the 9/11 terrorist attack in New York. Unfortunately, people had a sweeping generalisation, and it was not helped in part by some of the government actions that were taken, and it became this: they were Muslims that did this, they were terrorists, all Muslims are terrorists, all Muslims are bad people. That's absolutely not true. The Quran, just like any of the other holy books, does not preach violence. They preach peace and tolerance. They want us to be respectful to each other in spite of our differences. Nowhere does it say in Islam that it is okay to go around blowing other people up, blowing innocent people up. Terrorists often have warped views and ideas. They often have incorrect views and ideas. And to target everybody to say that they are all terrorists is completely wrong. It is a religion of peace. There are so many nice Muslims out there who will do anything for you and to help you, even though you are different to them. Girls love pink. So this is a gender-based stereotype, and this one is foisted on people from the instant that they are born. The amount of baby clothes that you see when you're walking around, even in supermarkets and things, and everything's blue or it's pink. Thankfully, they are getting a little bit better at that now, when they are introducing other colours and being a bit more gender neutral. You might get your greys, your browns, your lemons. But there's this kind of attitude that pink is for girls and blue is for boys, and you see it on gender reveal parties and things like that, where, you know, people pop balloons or they blow smoke or whatever, and it's either pink or it's blue. Not all girls like pink. Not all boys like blue. American tourists are fat and loud. I've heard this one an awful lot when I've been on holiday in various different places. Yes, some of them might be. Doesn't mean they all are. And all boys like sports. Again, this is another gender-based one, that the girls should be doing things like gymnastics or netball, or even, you know, staying at home, cooking, cleaning, raising the babies, whereas the boys are allowed to like sport and should like sports. I know plenty of boys that don't like sport. You're allowed to have your own interests. You can see from the stereotypes there that some are worse than others. You know, some are significantly worse than others. But they are all known stereotypes, and they all have an impact. Regardless of what that impact is, they do all have one. Stereotypes can be a really negative thing. They can be really dangerous, they can be really divisive, they can lead to discrimination. So for example, after 9/11, lots of Muslim people found that they were kind of hounded out of their communities, that they were being targeted by their communities, that people didn't trust them anymore, places were broken into, you know, people were attacked, and it was because of this rhetoric that all Muslims are terrorists, and it just wasn't true. If you don't fit into positive stereotypes of your group, that can lead you to thinking that you must fit into the negative ones. So for example, as an Italian person, you might think, I'm not so sure I fit into that I dress well thing, so therefore I must be a slob, I must dress terribly. That's, you know, that's going to give me a negative kind of view of myself. It can give you feelings of inferiority or superiority. So I am better than other people. I am white and Christian, therefore I am better than somebody who is Asian and Muslim. You know, those kinds of things. Or feeling the other way around. I'm not as good. You know, I don't have the right to be here as much as other people do. So these are the pictures I was talking about earlier. So the two on the left-hand side of the screen are from pro-Nazi rallies, modern day pro-Nazi rallies. So Hitler, long gone with his Nazi party, but you can see people are still carrying swastikas. So both of these are in, no, I'm lying to you, the top one's in America. The bottom one is Eastern Europe. And for those that aren't aware, Rudolf Hess was like Hitler's second in command, essentially. And they're basically celebrating Rudolf Hess and his ideas and the fact that they think the Nazis were a positive thing. The Senegal one, I don't read French, but I can pretty much guess that that is against homosexuality, that they don't believe in it. And then again, at the bottom there, homosexuality is a sin, return to Jesus. So these are people who are willing to go out there and to show their beliefs and to show what they feel about certain people. But I bet if you ask these people to have a conversation with the people that they're against, then they'd probably say, no, absolutely, they're not doing that. Okay, so they formed this belief, this opinion, but often in a lot of these cases, they aren't willing to listen to the other side of the argument. So, things that we can do to help break down or help prevent stereotypes, we can try not to feed them. Now, the best example I can think of this is somebody's having a baby, don't buy them pink or blue. Okay, don't feed into that narrative that all girls want pink and all boys want blue. I'm not saying that you can't do that. I'm not saying that that's really wrong. It could be that the parent really likes those colours and wants them dressed in those colours, and that's fine. You can educate people. So for example, if you are from a group that is often on the receiving end of some hate, you could try and sit down with the person and have a conversation with them and actually, did you know this about my religion or about my culture, and tell them things. Be open with people about how stereotypes make you feel. So are you a blonde person that gets really offended by all blondes are stupid because you have a PhD and you know you're extremely intelligent? Sit them down and talk to them about it. Get to know the person rather than the characteristic. So look beyond who they are visually and talk to them, get to know about their life. What was their upbringing like? What kinds of things do they like? What do they do for special religious holidays, etc. Focus on all the positive things that they bring into our lives. And there are so many positive things out there that you could focus on that certain groups will have brought to us. And call out any negative stereotypes only where you feel safe to do so. Okay, so you're probably not going to walk into that armoured group of men with the Nazi flags and say to them, excuse me, I don't agree with what you're saying. Okay, but where it is safe to do so, challenge what's been said. You know, somebody says to you, all blondes are stupid. Go, hang on, do you know so-and-so? Actually, they're extremely intelligent. It's not fair to say that all blondes are stupid. What if they said that about you? So here we've got some support services. So you've got step 2 in the middle there. We are a sexual health and mental health charity. You can see all our social media handles. Feel free to follow us. We are attempting to break out into some other platforms. Hopefully that will be going well. We work with James and Hale in the local Bradford area, and we deliver sexual health, sexual relationships education to Bradford schools. And you've got some other organisations there who help with breaking down stereotypes. There are so many different types of stereotypes that there are charities for each individual one. So I've just had to select a couple there. But there are lots of advice and guidance pieces online about how you can help in the fight against stereotyping.